at the District 214 Bake Off. This is the third one. We are here with Rolling Meadows and Elk Grove High School because we
High School District 214 board meeting.
Co-star program.
It's nice to see little bits of raspberry in there. I feel like if I was going to over-engineer it, I'd like puree some of it, but then leave some little whole bits in there. It's very tasty.
The judges will be considering the texture of the breads, the taste of the breads, and the appearance of the breads today.
So we have raspberry lemon glazed muffins, and we have a lot of, you can smell the raspberry aroma, like when they first get out the oven, that smell is delectable, truly. But then the zestiness of the glaze helps with the taste, and overall I think it's like really sweet and nice.
We made a carrot cake Swiss roll with pecans on the inside, chopped up pecans. Personally, I think people love it. I've had like family and friends both try it, and they've told me that they really like it. So hopefully we can take home a win or something.
And it's my first year. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what's really going on. Well, I got him to help guide me through, my teachers, so I'm really excited.
My group made Greek God mini breads, and I hope people really like it. I think it's a nice savory bread. This is my first time competing in this competition, and I really hope that the judges will like what we made for them today.
This is my first year with District 214. This is my first experience with the Bake Off, and so far it's been so wonderful to see all these kids work so hard to prepare their quick breads. We're super proud of our students, and just knowing them for only a year and seeing how great of a relationship we can form over that year, and to be represented here today all together is just so rewarding.
As usual, we struggled with which one was going to make it, but there was one that stood out for both its colorful presentation, its the subtleness of the flavors blending together so well, the texture was perfect, and that would be the cheesy bread. One again stood out. It had wonderful creativity of adapting a recipe and putting it into a new kind of format. Very good balance of flavors, and that would be the carrot cake Swiss roll.
I'm really proud of myself and proud of my team members. I don't go to BG, I go to Wheeling, so being able to represent my school means a lot to me.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun trying the other team's foods.
I'm just speechless. I love this event now. Regardless of winning or not, I'll do this again if I have the chance. So.
Today we're here at Autobahn Raceway and we're racing some cars at the D214 Super Mileage competition. The objective of the Super Mileage competition is to build a car that can get the highest gas mileage. So usually beginner teams are about in the 200 mile per gallon range, with veteran teams getting as high as like 500 to 700 miles per gallon. And it's all about basically maximizing your fuel efficiency with your car.
Let's go!
Yeah, so driving it so far has been pretty good. We only had one mishap with the chain popping off.
Your magic, Danny.
Come on, man.
I don't know how he does this. Like, he's the only one who knows how to do this.
You don't know how it works, but it works. You just go with it.
And I welded up the whole frame, a few welds here and there done by others, and I cut a few metal. But my whole thing was the rear chassis, where the chain is, and keep slipping, but little zip tie here, bolt there, duct tape there, rag neck at it. She works well.
Alrighty, power.
I love the team. I started last year, and I just kind of thought it'd be a fun thing to do, but it's turned into a pretty serious project, and I definitely want to do something similar in college at U of I. I might either do the Super Mileage team there or the Formula USA team. So yeah, I'm really excited to transfer my knowledge from this to the future, and maybe even possibly going into the racing industry.
This competition is really fun. It's basically culminating of 6 months of hard work for these kids. It's really one of the biggest events the tech department of 214 has. Earlier in the year we do the battle bots, but this is kind of the end year culminating project for a lot of our students, and they have a lot of fun, really fun doing it.
My buddies were in this, and so I joined it. I learned how to weld. I learned more about CADing, computer-aided design, and just learned just basic mechanics. And I thought that was amazing, and then that made me really want to become an engineer in the future, or a mechanic.
I've always enjoyed tinkering with motors and whatnot, and they said, hey, you can build a car. I'm like, oh, I love building cars. And from there, I got to mess with the motor and tweak around with it, and I really enjoyed it. It's really hands-on, probably one of the best things I could ever do.
Danny, even then I was barely touching the throttle.
Oh, so you got power backed up on you.
Yeah.
Still like half a tank.
Oh yeah, like the same amount as last time. Good job.
Yesterday I did a tour here and I got to meet a rear Ferrari engineer, and he was telling us about the car and whatnot, and I got to meet the owner of the facility, and they offered me a possible internship, and from there hopefully I get into the career and excel from there. Maybe Red Bull Racing, we never know.
When I was in high school, when I went to Hershey, we did this, and it's now great to see it come back from being a high school student when I was in 2015 to now being able to instruct these students and show them how cool and great these career pathways are.
Join High Mileage, the best thing you could ever do. Amazing people, amazing staff, everybody here's to help one another. You don't got a tool, someone will have it and they'll be happy to lend it to you, and vice versa. It's an amazing place, a lot of love, and people are everywhere around to help you succeed. No one's here to put you down.
Make some noise, hey! Woo! We can hype each other up. Let's make some hype noise. Let's go. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. D214, what's up now? D214, what's up now? Freedom call.
Today we are celebrating Voices of District 214 at Prospect High School, and it includes all 6 of our sister schools in our district. And we are bringing in a guest clinician. His name is Lonnie Norwood Jr., and he comes with a vast background of gospel and spiritual music.
Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me.
I've been in music education overall for about 17 years, and I am just in love with really remembering and remembering music of the Africana experience, and I share it with everybody regardless of what their background is, because I'm all about creating love and light and community.
We're gonna clap our hands and sway. Clap your hands. Hey, woo! Come on, energy. Put some energy in that step.
This is a special day for the district because we get together our younger singers, our newer singers, and this is an opportunity for them to sing in a large group instead of like a smaller choir that they might have at their home choir, or they're in a large group, and also gives them an opportunity to work with a different type of director than the one that they have at their home school.
To your left and sway. Come on.
Mr. Norwood, he got us very pumped up, and like so we were ready. Like he was very energetic off the start, and I feel like people like found their vibe off of his energy.
And dip, and dip, and dip. Bring it back again. Go 2 to the left, woo, and 2 to the right.
Well, I feel like with the movements, I mean, it's just something like we've never done before, and it just allows us to get out of our comfort zone and just kind of let like the spirit of music guide us.
I really like it so far. It's great to connect with friends from other schools and learn new music, especially the African music.
From the lighthouse, let it shine on me. Woo! Teachers, do you recognize your students right now? Look at them. All right. Excellent, everybody.
I get, show that it's okay. It gives permission for everybody else to be themselves, to let loose, to have fun, not take themselves too seriously, as I remind them that my sort of motto is always, listen, you do not have to be the best to give your best, and, laugh. Ending. It's a beautiful thing to see the transformation from 9 a.m. to the end of the day, right? They're not going to leave here the way that they came in. And it's
because Okay, thank you. Let me call to order the business meeting of Township High School District 214 for Thursday, October 10th, 2024. Joining us this evening is Julie Laskowski, Board Secretary. Can you please call the roll?
Dessling.
Here.
Fiorito.
Here.
Heineman.
Present.
Palmer. Rauch. Walker.
Here.
Kreitzer. Present. I need a motion to go into closed session for the following purposes: student discipline, the employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in an educational setting, or legal counsel for the public body, collective negotiating matters between the district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, and superintendent evaluation. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Walker,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dustling, Heineman,
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye, we are now in closed session. Thank you. Thank you. We are now back from closed session. Can we please call the roll?
Dustling?
Yes.
Fiorito?
Here.
Heineman?
Present.
Palmer?
Here.
Walker?
Here.
Kreitzer?
Present. Dr. Rowe.
All right, well, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, we're blessed to have a group of our CLS students from Hersey High School. I'd like to introduce Dr. McFall to introduce his team.
Hi, thank you very much, Board of Education and members of the audience. We have a full house tonight. This is fantastic. I have some of my favorite students in the school with us this evening, and they're going to be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I know they're excited. I know I'm excited. But first, we're going to talk really quickly about the big game that happened last week, a Hersey tradition, and we have a video, I believe, that we're able to show right now to kind of kick off an intro for our big game.
They finally get the chance to showcase their talents in front of pretty much the entire student body, which is just such a precious moment here for these students and for the whole Hersey community.
Go, please.
That's the feel-good moment of the year at Hersey High School every year. Now I'm going to turn it over really quickly to Christine Pasquesi, our director for the CLS program.
Hi everyone, thank you for this opportunity. Again, my name is Christine Pasquesi. I am the administrator for the CLS program. And CLS stands for Career and Life Skills. We teach our students foundation skills that we hope will be transferable into natural environment opportunities, to generalize into civic engagement, volunteer opportunities in the community, and vocation. So thank you for this opportunity to practice some of those skills for you. And I'm going to turn it over to the students to introduce themselves and then start the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we get your name? This would help. This would help. Please say your name.
My name is Rabat. Hi, I'm Randy.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, my name is David.
My name is Sammy Greismeyer, and I'm a senior in the CLS program. We would like to lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand up? I pledge allegiance to the flag
to the republic which is in nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
We're going to take a moment to take a picture with the students. I'll stand in front of this guy.
There we go.
Got it?
Okay. All right, I pledge allegiance. To the flag.
Got it?
One more. And got it. Thank you, guys. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So next on the agenda is the approval of the agendas. Anyone wish to remove an item from the agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye, thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the board meeting of September 19th, 2024. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Walker,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Abstain?
and Kreitzer.
Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 25th, 2024, please? Motion and a second.
So moved.
A motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Abstain.
Walker,
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye. Now we come to a part of the agenda for public comments, and I do have one person that signed up. Lee, could you step to the podium? Let's see. The Board of Education and the district value comments from the community at our meetings as well as emails. We appreciate everyone appearing before the board and treat all with courtesy and respect. The Board of Education asks each person to please limit all of their comments to 3 minutes. However, if several people want to address the board on similar topics, the board president may limit the time to 2 minutes per person. The public comments agenda item will be the only time that the Board of Education will hear public comments during meetings. Although comments may be made on almost any matter related to the operation of schools, comments will not be allowed identifying students or staff members. As this is the Board of Education business meeting, the board practice is not to respond to public questions or comments at this time because this is not an open-ended forum. However, we do listen carefully. If requested, a written response will be provided. Please ensure that Ms. Leskowski has your full name and address on the sign-up sheet. To be fair and consistent to all addressing the board, the same protocols and procedures must be in place for everyone. The green light indicates your time has started, the yellow indicates you have 30 seconds, and the red light indicates your time has expired. Thank you.
Hello, Superintendent, Board, staff, and assembled community. I'm Lee Bennett. I wish I were a lifelong volleyball player. Unfortunately, I didn't really start playing until after college. In the time and place I was growing up, volleyball was considered a girls' sport. It seems this has not entirely changed in the district despite considerable national growth of the men's game. Why is volleyball important? Let me give 3 reasons. Lifelong, teaches teamwork, and a social sport. As a referee, I see many high school, middle school, and even younger kids engaged in volleyball. It remains popular with my son's peers in college, and I can personally attest to it being part of an active lifestyle throughout adulthood, including gentlemen in their 80s and even 90s. The girls and boys that learn the game today may well be on the court at their century mark. With the occasional exception, such as Mike Collins' give the ball to Michael Jordan strategy, all coaches preach the value of teamwork. Volleyball teaches teamwork naturally. The volleyball court is large enough to require a team effort and small enough to foster team communication. The timing of the game allows for brief huddles between points and urgent coordination during play. Players must rely on their teammates to guard the floor and set them up in order to succeed. Volleyball is less about direct confrontation with the opposing team. Instead, unrelenting gravity often presents the biggest challenge. The more cooperative focus of the sport is part of the appeal to girls, and the lessons of teamwork is something our boys need as well. I believe that volleyball is the best social sport. In the case of this introvert, volleyball was my main social activity for many years. Fortunately, volleyball is a popular co-ed activity, which helped me become a parent. Figure out how that works. The shared joy in volleyball can also be seen after a long rally, when both teams celebrate a temporary victory over gravity, the common adversary. In area schools, the number of boys interested in playing volleyball is similar to the number of girls interested in playing basketball. So why do the boys have fewer volleyball teams than are offered for other sports? This social sport effectively teaches teamwork and is a healthy, lifelong activity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett. And no one else has signed up for public comment. Let's see. Oh, Dr. Rowe, Superintendent's report.
All right, we'll begin this evening's superintendent's report. I'll kick over to Mr. Fiorito for an update on NSSEO and their strategic plan.
Okay. All of us last night were asked to read this at our next board meeting. This is regarding the strategic plan of the NSSEO board. I would like to provide the board members a quick update on where NSSEO is with their strategic planning process. You have been provided the timeline of the process, and later this month, NSSEO will be provided with the environmental scan by their consultants, Hazard, Young, and Atea. As a reminder, the environmental scan is a report that is developed from all the data that has been gathered from interviews, focus groups, and online survey, and other internal data sources, and provides a perspective of the state of NSSEO, which will serve as a starting place for the writing of the plan in December. Each of the 8 member districts, and those for our audience, are District 21 Wheeling, District 23 Prospect Heights, District 25 Arlington Heights, District 26, which is River Trails, District 57, which is Mount Prospect, District 59 Elk Grove, and the 2 large high school districts, 211 and 214. Will be represented and have a hand in authoring the plan, along with various administrators and staff from NSSEO. The environmental scan presentation will occur at the NSSEO Governing Board meeting on November 6th at 7 p.m. Board members are welcome to view the presentation at link and follow the meeting. I can provide a link to the recorded meeting at your request. Member districts will be providing 3 representatives to the meetings selected by our superintendent, Dr. Rowe, to write the NSSEO strategic plan. These meetings will occur on December 3rd and December 10th from 7:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. So that is the strategic plan update. I do have other updates that I'd like to share with the board. We had a meeting last night to talk about the Kirk project. Right now, the Kirk project was initially estimated at $5 million, and now it's up to 9.5. The project is desperately needed because these are where our students, District 214, special needs students, are situated. The amended budget happened on June 28th, but it was not voted on by the NSSEO board. So the new budget will need to be amended by not only the NSSEO board, but it'll also have to be amended by us. It was a big missing. And it lacked transparency, which we all know in District 214 is necessary to be an effective board. Through my work with Tim Keeley, our financial person, we will be getting a cash flow of project revenue versus project expenses, which is very important to show that at any point in time that we have the sufficient funds in which to manage the expenses. Last but not least, I had serious reservations about a $750,000 commitment made by former Senator Gillespie and current Senator Walker. At the North Cook dinner, which a couple of us attended, local legislators made it perfectly clear there are no additional funds for school districts next year. As was pointed out, that right now, the legislators in Springfield are going to be working very hard on solving the transit crisis in our state. So, with that being said, there's a possibility that we might see future assessments for the Kirk project at our district, and I want to make sure our board knows about it. Last but not least, in late August, the Timber Ridge School, which is located just west of Prospect High School, has had a serious problem with mold. So the mold remediation has not been going very well, but last week they finally got some good news. It has been approved by the insurance company that they would take care of it, but they also have a $100,000 deductible. Right now, the cafeteria has not been in use because of the mold. So for the next month and a half, they're going to be remediating and cleaning out every single unit. So that way the school and the students that are there will have the adequate education that we also need. Right now, they're dealing with ceiling fans and dehumidifiers, which makes it very difficult for teachers to teach and students to learn. And we all know that that type of environment is not good for anyone. So, that being said, I wanted to bring all these issues to their attention because they are very important. They do affect our students that go to outside schools, and it also affects our financial position, which many of you in this room are our stakeholders, and we need to make sure that we're always looking at our financial purse wisely. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fiorito. Just like to reiterate that myself, Mr. Keeley, and Ms. Kendrick will be the district representatives working with NSSEO to help write their strategic plan. Looking forward to that process. Students that attend NSSEO are very important to us, and we are committed to helping and support NSSEO to navigate some of their challenging facility upgrades that are, yes, they are sorely needed, but that the tightening of the cash flow and revenue is going to be necessary before I can recommend that you approve that. As things currently stand, I cannot recommend a yes vote on this bidding process, but hopefully Mr. Keeley and the NSSEO team will be able to tighten our plans so that we can get to yes. Hopefully we can. All right, next portion of my report before we get to the recognition that we're all excited for this evening is just a very quick update on an event that occurred at Hersey High School this week, which is really special. I'm sure, like me, most everyone in this room remembers every detail of what occurred on September 11th, 2001, and what you were doing, what you were thinking, what you were wearing, where you were, how you absorbed those horrific events that took place in New York, Washington, D.C., and the field in Pennsylvania. And I want to thank Mr. Jim Mix, teacher at Hersey High School, for reaching out and coordinating this event, and the team that he put together to bring a 9/11 mobile museum to Hersey and to District 214. It was a really, really great experience, one that I'm really proud to have been a part of. And for those of you that were able to, I know that some of us in the room were able to partake in it. Not only was it an emotional one, as it always is when we talk about September 11th, but to see our students engage in a learning experience with people who were on the ground as first responders was a really once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. So I'm really proud that we were able to bring that to our students. and I want to share this video of what the experience was like.
We're super excited to have the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit here at Hershey High School. As the truck arrived, we had Hershey parents out front with some patriotic balloons. We had Hershey students lining the sidewalks. We had some, mini American flags like they would show on the honor flights. The spirit was high.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Stephen Siller Tunnel of Towers mobile exhibit. We have a 50-foot trailer, approximately 1,100 square feet exhibit. We travel our nation to commemorate the brave sacrifice of the firefighters, police officers that gave their life that day in the greatest rescue and recovery effort in our nation's history.
The reason we're here is at Hershey High School to come educate our youth on the happenings of that day, but also the happenings of the days after. And to let them know that it was a huge tragedy. It was the single largest loss of life day we've ever had. It was also the largest rescue we've ever had as well. But just all the good that has come from that tragic day. And they're going to learn things that they can't read about. They're going to hear stories that some have never been told, some have been told many times.
Stephen Siller was one of the 343 firefighters that died that morning. He was getting off duty that morning. He was going to play golf with his older brothers. Heard the plane struck, heard on the news that the plane struck the building, turned around, drove back to his firehouse, Squad 1, located in downtown Brooklyn. They had already been dispatched to the disaster. He got his gear, drove his own truck to the Brooklyn Bottom Tunnel, where he donned 60 pounds of gear, ran 2.5 miles through the tunnel, mustered up with the rest of the firefighters, and gave his life that day, honoring his oath that he took to protect life and property.
So this is about remembering. So we want people to remember, obviously, for adults to remember and for the kids to learn. So we don't want this forgotten. It's not taught in most schools in America. And they have the privilege of talking to people who are there. We can't talk to people who were in the Civil War or these other moments in American history. But they can. And that idea is pretty special. Thanks for having us. And this means more to us than you. This means a lot to these kids. And these kids will be great. They're very respectful. They listen. It's nice. It's nice to see.
A special thanks, especially to the FDNY crew, to the Siller Foundation, to Children's Journey Home, to District 214, to all of Hershey. I'm grateful for everybody. A special shout out to Bill Dustin for the Magic Spirit. Special shout out to Chief Harris, Arlington Heights Police. And the coolest part about this project was there's like a whole bunch of people that were on it and did it. It wouldn't have happened without a whole bunch of people. The list is just too long, and to me, that's actually a good thing to celebrate.
I'm sure that the gentlemen from New York don't say this at every single school that they visit, but they did tell me that the students at Hershey were not only the most attentive, but the most respectful and one of their favorite places to be. So thanks for Mr. Mix and thanks for Mr. Dustling for offering some words at the commemoration and the kickoff event. Actually, I open it to you if you'd like to say anything about your experience, Bill.
Thank you. Everybody remembers certain times and dates in their lives, and I certainly remember mine. I was in San Francisco at a conference, and I couldn't get out of town for 5 days. The bridges were shut. You couldn't get a plane. My son was flying from Texas to New Jersey. They had to put down in Ohio, and he had to drive. He and two others drove all the way back to Texas. It's really. You just can't imagine that none of our students and many of our staff, younger staff, were not alive on that day. So to remember that and have them bring this marvelous exhibit here was really something. And the students really enjoyed it. They really learned from the experience. And many community members that I talked to were also there. And they revisited, in many cases, things that happened that day. It was really a fine presentation. And yes, Jim Mix and the Hershey people did a great job with it. I mean, really.
What's really unique about the organization that sponsors this, that raises funds for this this mobile museum, mobile exhibit to go around the country. Their mission is to pay off the mortgages of the families of soldiers who lost their lives or first responders who lose their lives in response. So huge thank you to a great organization. Really proud that it was able to come visit District 214.
Absolutely.
And then now on to the next item in this section, which is our partner recognition, and a huge crowd tonight to recognize not only one of the neatest experiences that exists for a long time in District 214 with Wildstang, but our great partner in Motorola Solutions. So, Mr. Maggia, let's kick it over to you for the recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. Tonight, we recognize Motorola Solutions Foundation for supporting 30 years of the Wildstang Robotics Program. Would you, Board President Kreitzer and Board Vice President Walker, please join us for partner recognition? This evening, we welcome from Motorola Solutions Foundation, Liam Fruzina, if you'd please come up. Liam is a senior software engineer and a 2015 Wildstang graduate. He interned at Motorola Solutions in 2018 and joined the company in 2019. He continues to maintain an iPad scouting system that he originally developed in high school. Dan Rooney, would you please join us? Dan is a principal staff mechanical engineer, a founding mentor of Wildstang, and participated in the precursor to Wildstang during the initial offering of the 1992 FIRST robotics competition. Since the 1995-96 school year, Motorola Solutions and its foundation have been integral partners in the Wildstang robotics program. Their many engineering mentors have inspired and continue to inspire students to pursue careers in engineering and technology. Motorola Solutions has also provided opportunities for former Wildstang students as interns and employees. For 18 years, the team built their competition robot and practiced in Motorola Solutions facilities. The partnership between the Motorola Solutions Foundation and District 214 is strong and greatly appreciated by District 214. We look forward to continuing this collaboration for another 30 years, nurturing the bright and enthusiastic students of the Wildstang Robotics Program. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you to all the board members here, and I'll try to keep it brief. I'll probably be under 2 minutes. In late 1991, the founder and head of FIRST, Dean Kamen, convinced Motorola's Bob Galvin, the CEO and founder's son, to not only become a sponsor of FIRST, but to commit the resources to start a robotics team. In January of 1992, Art Widener from Rolling Meadows High School, Doc Mueller, Trish Anderson, and students from Wheeling High School worked together with 2 engineers from Motorola to build a robot for the Maze Craze competition, as it was called, in New Hampshire. The team competed as the Motocats. Vintage 1992. Thus began the partnership between Motorola, District 214, and the Motorola Foundation. Over the years, Motorola Foundation has been generous in funding many FIRST teams, and Motorola has been a source for many engineering mentors, some of whom are here tonight. I would like to recognize those. Please stand. Don't be shy.
Come on.
I'll call you out by name. And as in a true partnership, District 214 has produced some of Wildstang's mentors. Also, please stand to get recognized. If you've been a 214 student and now as a mentor, please stand. Yes.
Yeah.
In a handful of cases, former students became Wildstang mentors and employed by Motorola. Raise hands. All right. So on behalf of all of them and the foundation, we are happy to accept this certificate of recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a tie-dye, and I have the new blue tie-dye also. If you've ever been, or you should go to the competition down at UIC, it is amazing, wild and crazy, and it's really good. Here. Oh, that's right, here. A new location. Do you have a date? Do you guys know? 26th of March? Is that,
Spring break.
oh, that's right, they always do it during spring break, don't they? Yeah. Thank you. Well, thanks a lot. And how are you liking new digs? Yeah? Amazing, amazing. Okay. Good luck this year, and I can't wait to see the new robot. So we're going to pause for a minute or two if you want to leave. You could, tours. Oh, good. If you want to stay for the meeting, but enjoy the tour and have a good year. That'll be cool. I forgot about that. They're moving here. Yeah. Laz, 120 students, or no, 75? 75 students in Wildstein from across the district. Yes. Yeah. Okay, anything else, Dr. Rowe?
No, that is all I have.
Okay, great. So next on the agenda is board updates, so I'm going to open it up to any board member that would like to update the board on every activity. Mr. Dusling, would you like to start?
I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying.
Oh, board updates. Do you want to give a board update?
Of course.
Okay.
I was going to talk about the 9/11, but that was done very well by Dr. Rowe. The other thing, the Night of Champions is they celebrated their 28th annual Night of Champions over at Prospect. It's a marching band competition, which is, I go to every year, it's great. And the University of Eau Claire Blue Gold Marching Band was there at the end to give a demonstration. 450 students in the band, if you can believe it. The whole field was filled. It was great. I went to the Buffalo Grove play, Complete Works of William Shakespeare, which was very funny. Now, they tried to do all the works of Shakespeare within the 2-hour period of time. It was amazing. Prospect Gives Back. Service Over Self. Frank Marandello started 9 years ago a Service Over Self project called Prospect Gives Back, where they go out in the community on a Saturday doing cleanup of area, visiting retirement facilities, making themselves visible in service projects in the area. And last night I attended Buffalo Grove's Fall Choral Showcase, which was phenomenal. They always do a great job. And the final thing this year, they had a legacy choir, which included the choir of students and also parents and community members to sing the final song. They practiced for about a week before, and it was very good. It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fiorito, do you have any updates?
I have one update that I've went to and one that I'm encouraging people to go to. So last Monday, we went to the North Cook board dinner. It was a legislative panel. It had 5 legislators. They were all very good. I was just totally impressed by the straightforward talk that they provided that night. They weren't doing the usual political speak, and they were straightforward with some of the stuff that they had to say. And some of the things that specifically affect us, as I mentioned earlier, they talked about the money. They talked about what they called the transit cliff. And they said the transit cliff, which is bailing out of Metro, RTA, and CTA, it is basically overshadowing everything in next year's budget. And that's pretty much what led them to pretty much tell us that when you're looking for new money next year, don't look in Springfield because there probably won't be any. A couple other things that they did mention was they focused on the teacher shortage. They talked about a few things that they're looking at to possibly encourage people to stay in the teaching profession or get in the teaching profession, and I think something came out today showing a survey of current teachers in Illinois, and not only Illinois, but nationwide, and a lot more teachers are looking to get out, which is very disheartening, especially in ours where we're sitting. They have hubs that encourage social work and psychology at Southern Illinois and University of Illinois Champaign. One thing that's near and dear to my heart, because I have a daughter who's a sophomore and is working for her degree to become a teacher, looking at paid internships for student teaching. I think that that in itself could potentially lead to more people staying in the profession by working toward getting their degree and getting their certification, rather than working for a year as without a paid internship and just saying, you know what, I'm going to find something that's going to give me some money. They talked about streamlining the IEP process, and they also talked about all the wonderful unfunded mandates that essentially bog down school districts. Last but not least, this is one that definitely would impact us, and I encourage everybody to get on board. They talked about the moratorium on parks and school districts regarding the Employee Paid Leave Act. And I know park districts are really going to get bombarded by it, because you got kids that are working during the summer, and suddenly they're going to have to figure out that, and it just will open up a whole can of worms when it comes to administration. So what they recommended was, we recommend to reach out to the Cook County Commissioners, because it's really Cook County where it's impacted. So our Cook County Commissioners are Morrison, Trevor, and Britton. Scott Britton is already on board with making sure that this won't continue. Trevor and Morrison, seems like they're up in the air. So those are the things from the highlights from North Cook, and I do want to mention one upcoming event. I know most of us probably don't have young kids, but about 15 years ago, I had a woman who worked for me, and her son and daughter went to Prospect High School. One was a football star. He was on the offensive line for 3 years, and I think 2 of those years they won the state championship. So anyway, she mentioned that Prospect High School had this thing where families could go, and they didn't really sit there and do a residency check, but you can go, and they had the high school itself became like a Halloween festival, and it was amazing. And all they asked was to bring like a bag of canned goods, and almost every room was sponsored by a different club or a different sports team or a different, math team, whatever, and it was so enjoyable that my 3 kids did it for so many years. So if you have young kids, and even if you don't have young kids, if you know people that have young kids, please tell them on October 29th at 4:30 p.m., Prospect High School has their Haunted High School and also their Halloween Festival, and I guarantee you it is a blast. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll swing from a positive to some work. Mr. Fiorito is right on the money, and we have been working on this in cooperation with superintendents and business officials across Cook County, this Cook County paid leave ordinance issue. What is preposterous about it is the state of Illinois passed a similar ordinance but exempted school districts from being involved, and yet Cook County feels it necessary to not only include school districts but include park districts, which will cripple our park districts with 14 days of mandated paid leave for part-time employees. So all of our park districts employ teenagers for their summer work, and 14 days of paid leave, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. For District 214, if our current employees will be over a $3 million hit. It's unfathomable what Cook County believes is a just thing to do to other taxpayer-funded bodies that are working to stretch every dollar that we have to support the students' learning. We continue to fight, and it is very, very close at the county board in terms of where that vote is split. Our commissioners have been very supportive. Commissioner Britton has worked with us hand in hand all along. So I don't believe it's our commissioners that are on the fence or opposed, but anyone, we need a lot of advocacy here, because this is, it's hard to wrap your brain around why this is a good idea. If the state of Illinois says the school district should be exempt, why Cook County feels that it should go a different direction. This needs to be overturned immediately.
Just one more comment on that, and I'll go to other board members. Today I received a letter that was written by all 3 executive directors from the School Board Association, from the IASA Association, and from IASBO Association, directed to the Cook County Board of Commissioners, stating that, just what we said here, there are 143 Cook County school districts that would be collectively effective by this ordinance. And that's just school districts. I don't know how many park districts, but yeah, lots of bad stuff going on. So, yeah, the association is on it. We heard that at North Cook on Monday, last Monday night, a week ago Monday. And that's that. Mr. Walker.
I have a couple upcoming events. On the 17th at 6 p.m., we have Life After D214 for juniors and seniors right here at Forest View. Then on October 23rd at 6 p.m., we have Virtual College and Career Night Ready. So it's, or actually College and Career Ready Night. So it's, that's a good thing to attend. It's virtual, so you can attend on wherever you're at. And I would encourage everybody to log in and attend. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Heineman?
Last week, as part of my metallurgical work, attended a conference in Cleveland, and there were booths on Tuesdays that were hands-on metallurgical events for high school students, and they had several high schools from the Cleveland area represented. And then on Wednesday, they had similar hands-on metallurgical things for college students. It was very educational. And then Saturday, Dr. Lopez and I attended the Arlington Heights TEDx event.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a TED event, but it was put on by people local to Arlington Heights. And they did an amazing job, and it's really good to expand your envelope. Think outside of what's normal. It's a very good event.
Good, thank you. Ms. Palmer, anything? Go ahead. Okay, thank you. Just a couple of things. Yeah, the Night of Champions, I went earlier, and what a wonderful evening for the Night of Champions over at Prospect. And the big game, what can I say? You saw that video, and the enthusiasm in that room for those students, off the charts. We were applauding and laughing and standing the whole time, so it was great, and I'm so happy they were here tonight. And one more thing, in your packet is the resolutions committee report created by the School Board Association. As you all know, we vote on these at the Delegate Assembly, which is on the Saturday of the conference in November. They've really kind of streamlined this process. It took them a while, but they have core values now, so we really got concerned when we saw 22 resolutions one year. And so now they created core values, so now you have a streamlined event. They don't even hear some of them that have nothing to do with the association. But there is a ballot in the packet. It's towards the end. And if you could please read all the resolutions, and if you could hand in your ballot, and if necessary, if you want to talk about this in November, that's fine. But if you need any more information about any resolution, I would suggest you contact Anna Klimkowitz, who is the North Cook Resolutions Chair, as she attends the meeting where all these school districts present these resolutions. So looking forward to be your delegate in November, and that's the end of my report.
I was disappointed in the video for the big game. I think they missed a really important chunk of the festivities when the entire Hershey student body sang happy birthday to Alva, while Alva was standing at center court with the boys basketball team, and I don't think anybody even could see Alva at that point in time. So it was just basically watching the student body looking around saying, who are we singing to? So I think they should have had that in the video. That would have been best.
Yeah, we have Dr. Rowe to thank for that. Goodness gracious. A little embarrassing. Yeah, I'm standing around the boys basketball team, who are about 1.5 feet taller than me. So, anyway, okay, thank you. We're on to, no discussion items? Anything? No. We got roll call items. So the first is operations. So I need a motion and a second for approval of the John Hersey abatement for student services. Motion and a second, please.
Second.
Mr. Yuli.
Thank you. It's been about 8 months since we obtained project authorization for this year's construction projects, which include Phase 2 at Buffalo Grove, which is a majority of the water retention work, the baseball field and auxiliary parking lot, and then John Hersey High School, which is this student services main office, main foyer renovation. Tonight, we have one bid. It is bid season. We have one bid tonight, and then the majority of the bids will be at next month's meeting. Before I jump into this specific item, we wanted to share a quick video. It's a 3-minute video. It is a 3D rendering of the space. Now, important note, this does not include final design finishes. That process is currently ongoing, but this gives you a good sense of the setup and layout for John Hersey. So we're going to go ahead and run through it. This is the main entrance. You have your security vestibule on your right. So you'll notice an immediate difference. That is the main office that we are now looking at and beginning to enter. This will house the principal and 2 associate principals and the support staff for that group. That is behind and to the right. The video won't go back there, but they have exterior lighting in all of their offices as well. So main office right off the security vestibule. And now this is the reception area into student services. So they wanted an open feel, and we'll have support staff at that desk. We are looking at the College and Career Center and a conference room. So again, kind of a reception area if they're waiting for an appointment, checking in. That set of doors we're actually looking at right now is a new set of doors, so it secures that space very nicely. And then we start to get into the space. You'll see offices on your left. And this is where you begin to see a similar pod setup to Elk Grove High School. We're going to have kind of 3 rows to mimic the 3 pods and the support staff required for each pod.
I think it was the deans and the social workers were in those pods.
Correct. You'll see 3 of those. That is actually like a staff break room in the space, and like a second kind of support pod area. And then kind of you'll see some conference rooms, another support staff area. That area there with the seating is designed to help students or parents who need help with Infinite Campus or scheduling. So we're exiting now opposite the side we entered. And again, the flooring is not there, kind of final design and paint is not included in this walkthrough.
Looks nice.
And then this is where we begin the main foyer work. And so you'll start to see a noticeable difference as we push forward. That is where the current main office exists, and right here we're going to have their, I think they call it Brewed Awakenings, their coffee shop, which will also serve as a concession stand for events in the main gym. And this is kind of, again, another lounge, soft seating area that will be utilized throughout the day and also when we host events. The main foyer work is actually going to involve from the main entrance all the way back to that secondary entrance. So the ceiling grid, LED lighting, flooring will all be addressed in that scope of work. Questions on this walkthrough? Dr. Rowe, you have something?
The timeline, please.
The timeline for this project. So we are beginning to move people out next month, and then we are mobilizing that space after Thanksgiving break. We're mobilizing because Pepper then will get in and we're going to demo that space in order to expose the areas that need to be abated.
Right.
Abatement will happen over winter break for the main office and the student services area. We'll finish the remainder of the abatement in that foyer area during summer break. We can't capture the full scope of abatement in a 2-week window over winter break. So we've chunked the abatement kind of into 2 phases. Once the abatement's done over winter break, then they're just going to go. Again, that space will be cordoned off kind of like Elk Grove was, and they're just going to move. We're expecting to be done, I would say, June. So plenty of time to kind of punch list and move back into that space.
So he's not here right now, but Dr. McFall, at the Hersey PTC meeting, which Alva and I were both in attendance at Monday, did a phenomenal job. He had the same video, but there was about probably 15 or so parents that were at the meeting, and they were very impressed. I mean, it just is, if you've ever been to Hersey like I have, that just hallway that you're looking at right now is one of the most boring and sterile environments in all of our schools. I mean, there's nowhere for the kids to sit. It's not like, it doesn't have the beautiful entrance of Prospect or Rolling Meadows, and kids are sitting on the floor, they're laying on the floor. They don't have those seats right there, and it's just really not very colorful. So this is a world of difference. And even the student services area, you know, visiting my kids, all three of my kids, same counselor, Mr. Galarza, it's gonna be so nice not to have to go and sit in that broom closet anymore. Right. So it really, Chris, a remarkable job. And like I said, the parents that were there, some were upset because their kids are seniors.
Yeah.
And the other thing that Dr. McFall said, which certainly didn't resonate very well with a lot of parents, right, Alva, was the fact that these workers are going to be taking up parking spots that are in great demand at Hersey. But other than that, the presentation itself by Heath and by yourself, I know the colors aren't there, I'm sure. It will hopefully won't have the ugly brown, you know, that I'm wearing. But I can't say enough about how great it's going to look.
Dr. McFall's been great to work with, him and his entire team, and, you know, they're really the ones coordinating all these logistics, and that's a big move, and that, you know, they're tight on space, and so to have that kind of dialed in and utilizing every team member we have here to kind of assist and help with it, we're hopeful it's going to go smooth.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it'd be really nice to have not only the aesthetics, absolutely, I totally agree with you, it'll be beautiful, but the functionality and what's really not only symbolic in terms of space, but the practicality of the pod. You heard the pod mentioned a couple of times. The deans, the counselors, and social workers that all share the same student alphabet, housed in the same area, is really part of a wraparound support system that we're focused on implementing across the district that is tried and true around and is really good for our kids. So I'm excited that our students will be supported from the word go with everybody they need if they're in that student services area. So, thanks, Mr. Yulee.
Board members, any questions?
Question. Does the company doing this removal, they handle all the reports with the state and the federal government?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah, the parents weren't happy about the parking situation. They were not happy. Well, principal did a good job of explaining that, working with the union, the contractors and everything, that there's a provision in there that the workers can only walk a certain distance, so they have to park in the parking lot, which I didn't know, but yeah. Yeah, we'll have the principal handle that. Call roll, please.
Palmer? Aye. Fiorito?
Yes.
Dustling?
Yes.
Heineman?
Aye.
Walker?
Yes.
Kreitzer?
Aye. Thank you. Onward to business services. Could I have a motion and a second for approval of accounts payable?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Dustling?
Yes.
Palmer?
Aye.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Heineman?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Kreitzer?
Aye, thank you. Next item for approval is the budget calendar. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Keeley, anything to add about the budget calendar?
I do not. These are standard dates that we would typically have. The only difference this year is that the tentative tax levy is in November. I think we did it earlier last year.
Okay. Call the roll.
Palmer?
Before you do, I just want to
sorry.
make one quick note that we did present the budget in August of this year, and we will be presenting the budget in September of next year to allow us more time to finalize the numbers, and this is a slight change. Nothing changes in terms of process, just it's a September action item.
Yeah, we used to approve it in September. Yeah.
It's the better way to do things, in our opinion.
Okay. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dustling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreutzer.
Aye. Next approval is musical instruments bid. Motion and a second, please.
So
moved.
There's been a motion and a second.
Second.
Mr. Keeley, anything? I think we've been doing this for 3 years.
Yes, we had a significant bid last year that was coming from the ESSER funding, and Dr. Lopez and his team are working on a sustainable musical instrument replacement plan through the IMMP budget, which stands for Instructional Materials Program. There we
Okay,
go.
sure.
That's the one. So this was fairly straightforward. We did have one instrument that there was an alternate required, so we pulled that out of the bid, and we're quoting that separately. Other than that, all checks out. These are all vendors we've worked with before.
Board members?
You know, Dr. Lopez essentially started this 3 years ago. I've been on the board for quite a while. I can't believe that it took that long for us to finally figure out to put money into some of these musical instruments and not have it come out of the parents' pockets and whatever. So I compliment you on doing that. It's a great thing. I've heard so many positive things about it, not only from music instructors themselves, but from parents.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Dustling. Palmer.
Aye.
Kreutzer.
Aye. Approval of the financial statements. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito. Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreutzer.
Aye. So now we have the approval of the senior celebration resolution. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dustling.
Who would be more appropriate to read the senior celebration? Whereas education is a lifelong process, and whereas public education is a community enterprise and community education philosophy advocates full use of public facilities, programs, and services by every age group in the community, and whereas the skills, talents, and experiences of older adults are untapped resources in many communities, and intergenerational cooperation promotes efficient use of human resources. And whereas community education promotes the use of community resources, community volunteers in schools, senior citizen centers, and community agencies, and maximizes the use of human resources to provide educational opportunities for community residents of all ages. And whereas the goal of community education is to promote a sharing, caring, learning community. And whereas senior citizens have earned our respect and recognition for their past accomplishments and their present and future contributions. And whereas Senior Celebration Day is sponsored by High School District 214 Community Education and local senior service agencies to encourage and develop programs and activities to meet the needs of all residents in High School District 214 and organizations included in this recognition. We, the Board of Education of High School District 214, hereby proclaim November 7th, 2024, the 32nd Annual Senior Celebration Day, and call upon residents of High School District 214 in the villages of Arlington Heights, Buffalo Grove, Des Plaines, Elk Grove, Mount Prospect, Palatine, Prospect Heights, and Rolling Meadows, and Wheeling to recognize and celebrate the bonds they have discovered, the participants they have formed, and the sense of community they have strengthened through community education programs, adopted this 10th day of October, 2024.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Mogi, anything to add? There's your mic.
It's at 4 p.m. on November 7th here at Forest View. It's a free event, and we do ask that folks register ahead of time via the Community Ed website or just by calling the Community Ed office.
Okay, in the
10 at 10?
field?
Yes. November 7th at 4 p.m.
November 7th.
Early bird timing applies.
It was regarding the use of the facility, and that was the best time. because of the day programs that we have running.
Just curious.
Mr. Walker?
I'll kick him under the table.
Oh,
We look
goodness.
forward to seeing you there, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, call the roll quickly.
Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye. So we're going to do a couple action items, and,
Nope.
where am I? FOIA. Oh, FOIA, sorry. Can I have a motion and a second for the FOIA report?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I don't have discussion about the FOIA, but we didn't talk about the 11.3.4.1 above. We just said financial statements. I'm assuming, and I just want to clarify that that was included in 11.3.4, because it wasn't clear when we said that. Okay. So moved, no discussion.
Yep, I see her shaking her head, yes. Okay. We need a vote on FOIA, right?
Vote
Yep.
for receipt, yes.
Call the roll?
Palmer.
Aye.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dustling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye.
One comment, as you read that, I'm sure you had a question about the final one, just to let you know that we do not share evacuation plans as part of FOIA. That's protected, and we denied that claim, just in case you're wondering, or anyone is wondering. That was a denied FOIA for student safety.
Yep. So we're going on to more action items. Can I have a motion and a second for student discipline case 242503?
So moved.
I move, I think it needs to be a little fuller on that.
Go ahead.
I move that in student discipline case 242503, that the student be expelled for a period of time equal to 2 years.
Second, please.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Dustling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye, thank you. Student discipline case 242504. Motion, please.
I make a motion in student discipline case 24-2504 that the student be expelled equal to 2 years.
A second.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Call the roll.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dustling.
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye, thank you. Next is approval of the personnel transaction report for 10/10/24. Motion and a second, please.
I move for approval.
Second.
There's a bit of motion and a second. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Dustling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye, thank you. One more item is approval of the job description for visual communications assistant job description. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dustling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Okay, we suspended closed session and we're going back in we're going back in for superintendent's evaluation. And there'll be no vote when we come out, so we're going to say good evening. Thank you. Meeting adjourned, or no, suspended. Thank you. Thank you. We are back in open session, and we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Aye. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.